Yeah, I'm 26. I graduated from the University of Alabama. I have my bachelor's in business communications with psychology. And I am a stay-at-home mom. Okay. I have a 1-year-old. She's 17 inches long. Yeah. She's really cool.
That's a mama.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about me. So
tell me this. You said that you're a stay-at-home mom. You said that you're a business major. You know, Donte is also a business major, and his dad, Cloville Oliphant, is also. I think both of y'all are actually business and marketing, though, right, Donte?
Right.
So tell me this: what have you learned throughout your time in college, or through your time in college, about that's different than what MWR has been able to show you so far?
Everything is business related. Like with MWR, you're just speaking, you're talking, you're using your interpersonal communication skills. You're being authentic. You are engaging. You got to know your audience. I mean, everything is the same. Nothing is like different. There's no difference really, but that's the good part about it. Me being able to already understand the assignment and what's been done.
So I noticed that when we talk to a lot of people, and even tax professionals, the biggest thing that we notice is that with MWR Financial, the education piece as it relates to finances, like getting your money back from the entities that's taking it away, writing off your lifestyle. Like you just said, you have a child. What about that was taught in the school that you was at?
It wasn't necessarily taught, so you have a good point. But I did take an economic class, so I kind of know and understand like what's really going on, and what's going on is it adding to my finances. They're actually taking away. But now that I've been listening in the Zooms, my mom's team Zooms, I understand. Well, no, I know what's going on, but I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, right. That's why I'm like in y'all group right now.
Right. So Donte, based on, what we're talking about, what's some of the things that you've learned so far to, basically enlighten that part or that side of you when it comes to the practical side of financial education? The marketing side, yeah, I got that part, your interpersonal skills and whatnot. When we're talking about, 56 cents a mile, getting back into your pockets, when you're talking about hiring your kids instead of giving them allowance, talk about that, Donte.
So a lot of that stuff, when we take a marketing class, they're giving you examples of other people using those types of skills and stuff, but they don't really go in depth on what the skills that are being used are. You know what I'm saying? Like, they don't say that we learn about, like, for example, the Fords, the Rockefellers. We learn about them, and we know that their sons, the Bushes, we know that their sons and their daughters and whatnot, we know that they're rich too, and we know that they're running the businesses too, and we know that they're taking over when their father dies, but we don't really know how that works though. You know what I'm saying? So what MWR does is we talk about the tactics that they're using. We talk about the rules that they live by and the strategies that they use when they're making big financial decisions. So that's where the fuzzy line is with standard, business education and specialized business education. Like, we'll talk about somebody who does real estate, but we don't talk about the strategies they use to be successful in real estate. That makes sense. So that's where the MWR separates themselves, and that's what puts them at the top. We're the only business that's doing this right now, and we're skyrocketing to the top. So they don't teach this stuff in school. So and they have classes on each thing we have separately, but we have everything in one place for the price of $228. Where you go out and get one of the things we have, and they'll charge you $5,000 for the same information, but it's not proven. it's not, they don't have proven results. They're just copying and pasting. We show you, we have people in here with testimonies, have proven results, and they'll tell you for themselves and they can show you for themselves. So that's the difference between general business education and MWR's business education. So
yeah, and I really like how, you know, the education piece is brought out in the extra digit movement. You know, Brian being Jamecia is amazing, because the way he breaks down the information and then provides it in bite-sized pieces for us to basically go back and see a replay with throughout the extra digit movement community forum, as well as the YouTube channel, is just amazing. You know, he charges companies thousands upon thousands, tens of thousands of dollars to do the same stuff and to speak the same messages to them as he pours out on us, such as like game changers, or even just, you know, on our Zooms. You know, some of the information that he provides is yeah, it's MWR related, but financially and business mindset, it's on a whole nother level. So, you know, we have one of the best educators in the business. I guarantee you, if he was a professor at a school, they would have to double his salary on a business mindset, giving those type of classes. Yeah. But you know, I think that's the biggest difference. Is that I would liken it, and I mean, I almost completed a master's degree, so I'm not like this most educated person, but I would liken it, especially not history, I would liken the education that most people receive in the traditional sector as it relates to finances is like how we was taught Black history. It was an overview, never really detailed, enough to know that it happened, but not enough to remember, like, you know, all the key names. Like, you know, if you go look in your town, you familiar with your town, so you know the side streets, you know, all the different ways to go to your house and things of that nature. No, the way we were taught, you know, several history stuff, you know, information about Black history was like, hey, the freeway, you know that freeway, you know, that state.
General area.
Yeah, exactly. So when it comes to finances, I would liken it onto that in the education system. You know, you get a ballpark figure, but you can't take that information and go outside and get to your destination in record time. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Definitely.
So here's a question for you, Jamecia. Tell me this. What brought you to the company? Now, you can be perfectly honest. Now, if your mom said, hey, you go sign up, you go do this today, and tell us. But what brought you to the company?
My mama, she signed me up. But I want to know more for real, though, because I have a daughter, and I do have like a business, but I don't want her. I want to create generational wealth. So, you know, like you was saying, like hire your children and not just, yeah.
Yeah. So like, so you were taught, you know, or you grew up to allowances, correct?
Yes.
So like Donte and I, you know, I never knew that hiring your kids was so beneficial, because, you know, the IRS says you can hire your kids for your home-based business, pay them, you know, $12,000 per child per year, and you get to write that off as a deduction. Now, most parents don't understand this, but you're going to give that money to that child anyway over the course of a year. I mean, children are expensive. And basically, you're just shifting your income. You know, in the United States, you can't give a child a bank account without having a guardian or custodian over that child and over that account. So really, the parent owns that account, but it's in the child's name. So when you start putting that money into that child's account as their allowance, but actually their fee for the job that they're doing at home, like shredding paper for the young children. How old is your child?
She's 1 year old.
1 year old. So just like that Gerber baby is not 7 years old, or set that 7 to 17 years old age range, but that Gerber baby that we keep seeing on these commercials is getting somebody paid. Somebody's using that baby for something. So, you know, right. babies can be an advertisement for your company, you know what I'm saying, for your business, by just having a picture of them. You know, MWR Financial, prepare for my generational wealth now. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. So it's amazing when you can, and then we have great experts. You know, our tax experts will tell you step by step how to hire your children. And that's what's so great about it. You don't have to figure it out. The experts do all the work, but you know, something simple as, you know, taking pictures. A 7-year-old can take pictures of you. You know what I'm saying? You look beautiful in your picture. So I'm saying, you know, you with an MWR shirt on, MWR hat, and when your child is 7, you know, take a photo of you, and you know, hey, that child is now a photographer. Charge, you know, you pay that for, and then you will go back and see how much a photographer, you know, gets paid. Do they get paid $500 per shoot? You know, and then you base it off of that, because it has to be something reasonable for the age of the child and for the you know, the service that the child is providing for your business. So that's what's great about it. I never knew about that. I've been 18 years in the military. I'm 36 years old, and I've never heard someone tell me to hire my children, or, you know, my mama could have made a whole lot of money off of me.
Right.
When I was growing up, because I was a hard worker. What about you, Donte? You know what I'm saying? Had your parents known about this a little bit sooner, how much more money they could have in their pocket? I mean, you're on mute. You got to mute. You're on mute. What was you saying?
I was saying they would have been so rich, man, because me and my siblings used to be in the backyard with shears cutting the grass when we lived on base. And I'm like, man, look, Dad, it's 95 degrees out here in the middle of summer. We on hands and knees cutting the grass with scissors. I'm like, y'all can be making some bread off of this as well as us. So, but
yeah,
it happened that way. But you know, now that we had that knowledge, all we could do is pass it on. So,
right. That's that military life you talking about, with some scissors, some hedge clippers. But I know for a fact, like, you know, that Donte and his siblings eat a lot. So if you just look at your grocery bill throughout the year and you compensate that with the tax deductions alone, that's a huge savings on your household. Right. So, you know, and then Jamecia, we got the bill shredder program. That right there, I never even knew that you had experts for you that go in and negotiate your bills. You know, I've never heard of that. So that's an excellent service. I mean, if you think about it, Brian Bean in the presentation says, and he has screenshots that show that he saved around $1,400 in bills just with that one product under the umbrella of MWR Financial. It's a $79 a month membership, but he saved over $1,400 just within a 12 to 24 month period. That's that's huge right there. And that's not including the commissions he's gotten through the company. So, you know, when you talk about the return on investment, you know, we had an overview earlier today, a $228 investment, bringing in, you know, $5,000 in tax deductions, and probably around a $200, $240 pay raise every month. You're talking about the return on investment. That dollar amount right there is like $3,900. And so you do that return on investment, you're looking at like 1,700% return on investment. There's not too many places you're going to find that type of return on investment with your own money. No. So I don't think too many schools talk about return. I did calculus and pre-calculus, and we ain't never talked about return on investment. You know, I know probably in finances class, you probably had that type of discussion, but Jamecia, most people we talk to, when you talk about stocks and you talk about anything with return on investment, they don't even know their return on investment. Can you believe that?
No, I cannot believe that.
I would say for the next couple of days, whoever friends you have or whatever people you know, somebody is doing stocks. I would say ask them, oh, yeah, you doing stocks? I'm thinking about getting into stocks. What stocks are you into? Am I right, Donte?
Man,
really?
They ask me all the time.
Yeah. Ask them what their return on investment is. Most of them are going to say, I don't know, I'm just making a lot of money. Or I don't know, period, because they're not making a lot of money. Most people don't know their return on investment. They're just putting money into the stock and hoping for it to make a lot of money. If they are making a lot of money, they still don't know the return of investment. They just know they're making a lot of money. But the people that I think are that I've seen, now I could be wrong, but the people that I've seen so far that are making a lot of money are making it through crypto. The only problem is that they're not converting it into dollars yet. The only problem is the government right now is doing a census and a survey to find out how many Americans are actually participating in cryptocurrency. And pretty soon that's going to start getting taxed. You know, a lot of people are like, yeah, I got crypto, so it's not taxed. Okay, well, when's the last time did you convert it? Exactly. You know, you may be able to pay with crypto right now, and you don't have to worry about conversions. Maybe I'm not too privy on that information, but when you try to convert it to actual dollars or some kind of other currency other than crypto, you know, it has to get tracked somewhere. So then it gets taxed. That's just how it works. So it's important to know your return on investment. So that's huge right there. So tell me this, you know, where do you see yourself in the next, 5 years? Where do you want to see yourself with MWR in the next 5 years? Principal.
I want to be wealthy. I want to have my own mortgage and stuff. I want to own my car.
So did you recently buy a car?
Yeah, like when I graduated, I got a new car. Well, I didn't buy it. My dad bought it.
Okay. So did you know about tax publication 179?
No.
See, that's another thing Donte did on teaching. Did they teach y'all about publications?
No. Nah.
Isn't that crazy though?
I didn't know that. I didn't know about that until this summer.
So
and I took a business class my freshman year, and I took a business 2 class this past semester. So I didn't. So
you're a junior.
Yep.
So you're a junior, 2 years left, and is it on the curriculum for this year to talk about tax publication?
And not that I'm aware of.
See, it would make sense in Donte for them to talk about the publications and the tax laws that govern the way our money works, wouldn't it?
Right. Because then we would be able to make more educated decisions on like buying cars and buying houses. We would be more educated, and we would have a better viewpoint. You know what I'm saying? Like when we know what the numbers are or what they should be, we could tell a good deal from a bad deal or a scam and a ripoff, from a good deal. So it'll help it. But that's the game they want us to fall for, though. They don't want us to know about, APR. They don't want us to know about interest. They don't want us to know about compound interest and stuff like that, residual stuff. They don't want us to know that so we could keep giving them our money. They don't sales tax. People be like, oh, it's only 7 cents. But that said, you go to Walmart every day, every other day, to get groceries. You're paying that 7 cents repeatedly adds up by the end of the year. So that they don't teach you that stuff unless you're paying attention.
Right. And that would make sense to say and teach people off the jump that taxes are your largest expense because you're paying them continuously. So that's a great point. That's a real great point, And then not talking about credit or APR, but it's funny. And that's funny because if they're not, I don't know, it's been a while since I've taken those type of classes, but if they're not talking about APR and credit, and predominantly, like we see it all over social media, people are credit restoration specialists and credit this and credit that. Everyone's talking about increasing credit. Well, if we knew how to manage our credit properly from the time we first had it or first been eligible to receive it and to have it, a lot of other people will probably be in a better predicament right now than most are not. I mean, you had a great start. I mean, Donte, think about it. Before you even entered the marketplace, so to speak, your dad had already gotten you involved with MWR and on the Financial Edge membership to where what was your testimony? You went from what to what?
Man, so let me tell you about my credit testimony, man. When I first started, first of all, before I started and before I sat down with my dad, I didn't even know what a credit score was. Like I heard of it, but I didn't know how it worked. I didn't know what it was, and I definitely didn't know I had one. But my dad got me situated through Credit Karma, and I pulled up and found out my credit score was a 544. And I'm like, oh, this got to be good, right? He's like, it's all right. It's not all that. Don't get excited. And I'm like, oh. But then he explained to me, he's like, but it can increase and decrease. But with MWR, all you have to do is upload your documents to the 3 credit unions, and then it'll start going up by itself. They do all the experts behind the scenes do the work. All you have to do is plug your documents in. So I'm like, oh, that sounds simple enough. And when I did that, you know, fast forward a year later, right now my credit score is currently sitting at a 781. So a 781 credit score, you know, I just turned 20 in February. That's pretty powerful. You walk into a dealership, people aren't ready to hear that. They see a teenager or a young person, they be like, whatever. Here come this dude. But then you sit down, you got the funds and you got the credit score. Now you're in control, you know, at the dealership or when you buying a house or when you're making a big purchase in general, you're in control. So, and you know what you're talking about too. So you can negotiate, having options. So that's what MWR has done for my credit. And it's crazy because it's still going up. They're working on it every day. It's still going up.
That's my mama be telling me.
All you got to do is upload your 3 credit reports from the 3 credit bureaus, and you know, you put it in there. And I would say, you know, if you don't have if you're not doing a smart credit option, which is a supplementary option with MWR Financial, which is tracking your scores continuously, your scores part, not just your credit report, but your scores part. That's a way to actually see it live. But if you're not doing that, there is a free option, which is just going to the annualcreditreport.com and then downloading your credit reports from the credit bureaus and then uploading them to the system. The only difference with that is, and it doesn't change the expert's ability to work on your behalf. It just means that you won't get day-to-day credit score monitoring. However, they're still working on your behalf. And every month they will email you saying, hey, your credit score went up this month. Hey, you should work on this. And then you still have, you know, availability and access to them to ask credit questions like, hey, you know, I haven't seen this on my file removed yet. If that's the case, can you tell me more about it? Oh, too easy. We're waiting on a response from that particular agency to get back with us. And then once that happens, we'll notify you. Or once they've notified you through mail, we need you to upload that into your upload center, and then we'll move forward on that. Have you received that letter yet from that agency? That's usually what it is. So, you know, we had somebody on our team, Miss Jamecia Green, for years. She had been working on her credit on her own, and then she went out and actually got some services from another organization. And they were just, you know, charging $100 a month, but she saw no change to her credit. Well, within 30 to 60 days of being with the company, her credit score has already gone up 50 points. She also got a $600 pay raise. So, you know, both of those right there says winning. And, you know, it's just beautiful to see people go from one place to the other. That before and after picture is amazing. So
different.
I would say, you know, make sure you log into your website and monitor what's going on, because one thing that the company does really well, they do a lot of stuff very well, but one thing they do is the communication piece. You know, corporate help desk is always available. You know, there's some lovely ladies working there. And then the chats that are in each portal are very good to work with. You know, you type in your question, you'll get an answer. You'll get an email notification saying that, hey, the credit expert or whatever expert has responded to your question. Please go to your portal, your website, and actually look at what information they provided you. So sometimes, you know, for me, it was just that, oh, I forgot to put some information in, and they're needing more information for them to actually go to work all out for us. So I think that's a great understanding to have about the company, because it's truly amazing what they can do in the education piece. The education piece is phenomenal.
Amazing.
So you said, I think you said you're 26 years old, right? And Donte is 20.
Yes.
20 and 26. So, you know, I can't even recall when I was 26, and there was only like 10 years. It's only like 10 years ago.
You're older than us? You look so young.
Yeah, he don't look that old.
What?
You really don't, though.
Yeah, you don't.
36 years old, and you know, I don't remember too much, but I know for a fact, I know this for a fact, that both of y'all in a lot better state than a lot of other people right now, especially during this pandemic. You know, one, y'all are above water, y'all are above ground, y'all both have air in your lungs and life in your breath. So I would say, you know, and then y'all are both with MWR Financial. So I would say, whatever dreams and desires both of y'all have to fulfill, or, you know, that you want out of life, I would say start writing them down. Always start with the end goal in mind. You know, I was talking to some of my soldiers today, and it's funny how when we look at what's the next step, we often stumble on the next step or get stuck on the next step. But if you focus further down the road, like the end goal, and then from the end goal, start working your way back, you're guaranteed to get to where you're trying to go, because you're not focused on the obstacles. You're focused on the end goal, which is hopefully for both of you is, you know, the word tells us to leave a good man leaves an inheritance for his children's children. So I would say, you know, focus on that, and whatever you got to do to get there, you would do it. You know, a lot of people, they may think of a plan B, a plan C, but, you know, I think Brian even said it, or I can't remember who said it the other day. I saw something on Facebook or something like that. And it says, when those people that plan and they do a planning for a plan B and C, they've already put failing in their mind, meaning that, hey, if this don't work, I have another option. Well, if you're not going all out for that first option, what are you doing it for? You know what I'm saying? And what goal do you think you're going to make? So I would say, you know, have that plan in mind, and by any means necessary, you're going to succeed at it. You know, at this point, you know, I've been in the military for 18 years, but I've been in this company for only about 6 or 7. And you run into a lot of people, a lot of naysayers. And, you know, I don't believe in doing something for somebody else. I always believed in doing something to prove it to my own self. So at this point, I'm like, you know, I'm going to prove it to myself, but I'm going to show y'all all that I was right in this choice, because I know how I'm convicted by it. I'm convinced, you know, I don't need someone to tell me. I don't need to see any more results. You know, I was brought into the company off of one thing, and that was that W-4 adjustment, how much money I was losing. And my mentor, Mr. Charles Ivory, is also a military vet. And for 24 years, you know, when he did the math, they found out when they did the W-4 adjustment, him and his wife, he put $600 back into his paycheck. And then when he looked back over his military career, you do 600 times 24. Of course, the number probably went up and down somewhere. You know, it's a little off to the right, to the left, maybe. But just to know that you had left money on the table that could have been in your pocket, to me, that was enough. I don't know what everybody else needs, but when he told me where I was losing money, I was good. I was like, okay, I'm in. And, you know, the people that I brought in, their pay raises have all been different, but it's money back into their household. It's education they didn't have prior to MWR Financial. And it's education and information that they can't unhear or unsee. So I did my part. I exposed the information. So I think that's beautiful, leaving a legacy. You know, when I do my presentations at the Ivory Complex, you know, I open up with a video talking about legacy. And I can't remember the pastor's name, but he talks about that we spend more money on everybody else's name. But what about our own name? How are we making our names, you know, the brand, so to speak? You know, we spend money at McDonald's. We spend money at, you know, you have Rolls Royce. You have Ford. You spend all this money on everybody else's name, making their kids rich, making their families wealthy. But when do you start looking at your own name and start putting money and investments into your name to where your name becomes greater than, you know, from the tip of your tongue? You know what I'm saying? It's not your first name that you live for. It should be your last name. A lot of us want our first name to be known, but your last name is your legacy. That's huge.
It's powerful.
Yeah. And so that's why I open up with that. Our team name is Our Legacy Movement, One United Reality, and that reality is that wealth is possible. And, Mr. Ivory, Mr. Charles Ivory is the fifth $1 billion residual ring earner in the entire company. He has his own establishments here in Hinesville, condominiums. He's got a PRA for his 3-year-old son. By the time his son is 18 years old, his son will have $500,000 in the bank with our private reserve account. That's huge. His granddaughter went from I believe a 356 credit score to over a 700 and a mid 700 score within a matter of 60 days. You know what I'm saying? So, he is really leaving a legacy for his family. He has a private reserve account. He's got land banking already. His deed is on the wall at the Ivory Complex. The place that he owns, one of the places that he owns, is called the Ivory Complex. His name is on the lot. So that to me is name. Yeah, that last name. You know what I'm saying? Because it's what your last name lives on. You know what I'm saying? So it's just beautiful to be a part of a company that has a CEO that cares about everybody. And me as a person in this company, I just want to see everybody succeed. So having you two younger people on here, one single mom, one college student, but both of y'all business majors, both trying to do better than what you were taught or what you have come to know as the norm is amazing. And I think y'all should, honor that by going even harder so that the next generation can get a better foothold. Think about it. You want your kids to start off at a better position than you started off, right?
Right.
So why not do better than what the last generation did? Not saying that the last generation didn't do us good, but saying that, hey, I got to do more so that I can continue that type of legacy. You know what I'm saying?
If you want more, you got to do more.
Most definitely. And then with our business mindset, we got to learn how to use leverage. Like right now, us three we all have different circles. I'm in the military. You're in college. You're a stay-at-home mom. You have a lot of other stay-at-home moms you could talk to, you can relate to that I can't relate to. I'm a guy. You know what I'm saying? Donte, you're around college students all day. You can relate to them. But when we come together, our networks come together at the same time. Our different dynamics come together at the same time. So it's important to connect. I did a post earlier talking about connection. Connection is everything. And so I'm happy we was able to connect tonight.
Yeah, me too, man. It was a pleasure talking to you. It's always a pleasure gracing the stage with you. And I'm glad I got to speak to you as well. Hopefully we can connect some more. If you need me, you can contact me. I'll give you my information. My Facebook is Donte Oliphant, as like my name on here. So you can shoot me a request and we connect through there. So it's great. It was a pleasure meeting you, though.
Most definitely. So Jamecia, tell me this: what would you like to tell everybody when it comes to MWR Financial, and why you think they should partner with MWR Financial?
I think that everyone should be eager to understand their finances, and the powerful message that's behind income shifting, and just to create generational wealth. And yeah, that's all I have.
And so where can the people find you at?
Facebook, I am Princess Patton, and Instagram, I am all things Jamecia. And I will be glad to just connect and we can help each other figure out the finances and the powerful message behind shifting your income back to your paycheck.
Awesome. So, hey, it's been a pleasure sharing this evening with both of y'all. Hey, everybody out there, y'all heard where y'all can find both of them at, and it's just awesome to connect with awesome people. So till we see each other again, peace.
Peace.